Have you ever wondered what it's like to see the world through the eyes of someone with psychopathy? Imagine navigating life with a completely different emotional compass. It's a question that has both fascinated and frightened people for centuries. The enigma of the psychopathic mind has been a subject of intense scrutiny and debate. Psychopaths are often portrayed as emotionless villains in movies and TV shows, creating a chilling image that captures our imagination. But the reality is much more complex. Beyond the dramatized portrayals lies a nuanced and intricate condition. Psychopathy is a personality disorder characterized by a distinct way of thinking, feeling, and interacting with the world. It involves a unique blend of traits that set it apart from other disorders. People with psychopathy don't experience emotions in the same way most of us do. Their emotional responses are often muted or absent. They often have difficulty understanding and responding to emotions in others. This emotional disconnect can lead to significant challenges in social interactions. This can make it hard for them to form meaningful relationships or feel empathy for others. The lack of emotional depth can create a barrier to genuine connections. Scientists have been studying psychopathy for decades, trying to unravel the mysteries of this complex condition. Their research aims to decode the underlying mechanisms of psychopathic behavior. Through groundbreaking experiments, we're gaining a deeper understanding of how psychopathic individuals perceive and process the world around them. These insights are crucial for developing effective interventions. Let's take a look at 3 key studies that shed light on the psychopathic mind. These studies offer a window into the cognitive and emotional processes that define psychopathy. One of the hallmarks of psychopathy is a blunted emotional response, particularly to negative stimuli. This means that while most people would react strongly to something sad or distressing, a person with psychopathy might not. Think about the last time you watched a sad movie or heard about a tragic event. You might have felt tears welling up, a lump in your throat, or a deep sense of empathy for those affected. You likely felt a surge of sadness, empathy, or even distress. These emotional reactions are a natural part of being human and help us connect with others on a deeper level. For someone with psychopathy, these emotional responses might be significantly muted or even absent altogether. They might watch the same sad movie or hear the same tragic news and feel almost nothing. In a groundbreaking study conducted by Blair and colleagues in 1995, researchers used brain imaging techniques to examine the emotional responses of psychopathic individuals compared to a control group. This study was pivotal in understanding the neurological underpinnings of psychopathy. The participants were shown a series of images, some neutral and some designed to evoke fear or sadness. These images were carefully selected to trigger strong emotional reactions. While the control group showed significant activity in brain regions associated with emotional processing, the psychopathic group displayed a remarkably muted response. This difference in brain activity was striking and provided clear evidence of the emotional disconnect in psychopathy. These findings suggest that psychopathic individuals process emotions differently, particularly when it comes to negative emotions like fear and sadness. Their brains simply do not react in the same way as those of non-psychopathic individuals. This emotional disconnect can have profound implications for their interactions with others and their moral decision-making. Without the usual emotional cues, their decisions might seem cold or calculated, lacking the empathy that guides most people's actions. Imagine being faced with a moral dilemma, a situation where you have to make a difficult choice with potentially life-altering consequences. Most people rely on a combination of logic and emotion to navigate such situations. But for individuals with psychopathy, moral reasoning often takes on a more calculated and less emotionally driven approach. A 2009 study by Glenn and colleagues explored this phenomenon by presenting psychopathic and non-psychopathic individuals with a series of moral dilemmas. These dilemmas were designed to pit utilitarian reasoning, choosing the option that benefits the most people even if it means harming a few, against emotional considerations. The results were striking. Psychopathic individuals were significantly more likely to endorse utilitarian solutions, even when those solutions involved harming others. This suggests that their moral decision-making is less influenced by empathy, compassion, or guilt. Instead, they tend to prioritize logic and a cold calculation of costs and benefits. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, is fundamental to human connection and social cohesion. It is the glue that binds us together, allowing us to form meaningful relationships and communities. We instinctively wince when we see someone get hurt, feeling a pang of their pain as if it were our own, and rejoice when we witness acts of kindness, our hearts swelling with warmth and joy. But for psychopathic individuals, empathy can be a foreign concept, an echo that never quite reaches them. In a fascinating study conducted by Decity and colleagues in 2013, researchers used brain imaging to investigate the neural underpinnings of empathy in psychopathic individuals. They sought to understand what happens in the brain when these individuals are exposed to emotional stimuli. The participants were shown videos of people experiencing pain while their brain activity was monitored. This setup allowed scientists to observe real-time reactions to emotional distress. Interestingly, the psychopathic group showed an accurate understanding of the emotions being displayed in the videos. They could intellectually grasp what was happening. They could recognize pain and suffering when they saw it, identifying the cues that signal distress. However, their brain regions associated with emotional resonance, the areas that typically light up when we personally experience or witness emotions in others, remained remarkably quiet. This lack of activity suggests a disconnect between understanding and feeling. This suggests that psychopathic individuals may possess a cognitive understanding of emotions, knowing what others feel without truly feeling it themselves, but lack the emotional depth and resonance that typically accompanies empathy. Their responses are more analytical than emotional. They can recognize emotions in others, pinpointing sadness, anger, or fear with precision. But those emotions don't seem to resonate within them in the same way they do for most people. This detachment can lead to a profound difference in how they interact with the world around them, often resulting in behaviors that seem cold or